Even we sometimes struggle in these sorts of moments. I was on a plane coming back from Kenya about 2 weeks ago, and my mind ranged back over the years to June of 1999. I'm going to test your knowledge of world history here for just a moment. June of 1999, I was on the same flight coming home, kind of thinking about a horrible Crucial Conversations failure that I had had on that trip. I was in Nairobi, Kenya, had brought my family. I'd fallen in love with the country, wanted them to experience this beautiful place. And they'd kind of tired of unfamiliar food after a week in the country. So with my children, we found a mall with a hamburger place. Now, I want you again to think about, this is June of 1999, right? And this is Nairobi, Kenya. Does anybody remember what happened in June of 1998 in Nairobi, Kenya? Yes. So the embassy was bombed. So this is almost the 1-year anniversary after the bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya, with a loss of over 200 lives. If you think about it, this is the equivalent of being in downtown Manhattan on September 11th, 2002, right, the anniversary date. And people are a little wary, a little skittish, a little uncomfortable. So we found a mall, we found a hamburger place, and my then 3-year-old son is standing next to me as we received our hamburgers, and they handed him a balloon to celebrate his hamburger, and so we went and ate these. And later we're walking around the mall, he's holding his hamburger and was short on local currency, so we went for a bank. Found a bank, and we got to the end of the line, and I was working my way up. Now I want you to have a picture of the bank here in the mall. It's this kind of dank corridor, all designed for security, floor-to-ceiling, bulletproof glass. Everybody's on the other side of this, just a little slot you pass things through. And on this side, it's linoleum floors and just kind of an echo chamber. So we're working our way forward. Finally, it's my turn. I get to the front of the line, and just then an armored truck pulls up, and 2 guys with machine guns step off and start escorting somebody with bags in and out of the bank. So now, in addition to the latent kind of nervousness and tension in the room, there's this consciousness of these guys with guns and all of this. I get to the front of the line, my son's standing next to me, balloon in his hands. I let go of his hand to reach into my pocket to take out my American money, and it jostled him enough that his balloon breaks loose. And it starts to float lazily up to the ceiling, and on impact with the ceiling, it goes kaboom inside this room. Everybody on my side of the glass drops down to the ground. Everybody on the other side of the glass drops down on the ground. The only people still standing are myself, my son, and the guys with the guns, who now have them trained on me. I'm standing here looking at these people quailing on the floor, staring over at these guys pointing machine guns at me. Folks, this doesn't happen to me often. I'm not prepared for this. The only thing I could muster to say in that moment was, it was him. Now, my intention in the moment was not to rat out my 3-year-old son, but that was the best I could come up with in short notice. I was trying to express something. We just had a difficult time getting it across. So I'm with us. We're challenged in some of these moments, but that's not why we want to talk about it this afternoon. The fact that some of these conversations are difficult for us to handle is not the issue on the table. Our interest, my colleagues and myself, over the past 25 years, has been the search for what we call moments of disproportionate influence. I wonder if you're curious about these too. Moments of disproportionate influence. So moments when somebody's behavior, somebody's actions disproportionately affect many things that follow. See, I would suggest that this is why we exist in HR. The reason we exist, the reason our function is so pivotally important in our organizations is because our purpose is to assist leaders in building a team that is supremely effective at accomplishing the organization's mission. That's why we exist. Not to select, recruit, develop, retain. That isn't why we're here. Those are means to that end. To help the organization become far more effective at accomplishing its mission. So, wouldn't it be wonderful for you and I in accomplishing that? Wouldn't it just be terrific if there were solutions that disproportionately affected many desired results? If there were solutions that affected these kinds of moments that have a profound effect on many kinds of results in our organizations? Well, that's what we've been interested in. And that drew us to this notion of crucial conversations originally. You see, we found that when the stakes get really high, when there's a lot at risk, people tend not to behave as effectively as they could. And some of the moments of most supreme risk are moments when people have to talk about something tough.